Okay.
And this was in the Navy at Patuxent and Merlin. When I came back from overseas, and they put me right in recreation in boxing. And I fought 1 or 2 fights there. And that was I'm on this picture somewhere. In other words, it made me have a good rating.
Yeah.
This was in Saturday Night Boxing. That's an amphibious training base in Italy.
So when you would put on the fights in the Navy, how often, like, how many guys would actually be boxers versus how many guys just wanted to, wanted to beat the crap out of each other?
And sometimes it'd be 5 of them in there blindfolded. And we
You just blindfold them and let them swing?
I use people from there. Like in Italy, I used Italian.
Yeah.
In fact, I had 4 guys that worked for the recreation department, got 56 cents a day. One of them had been the Italian fleet champ. And he fought for me there. And finally he was winning. And so all of them said, I think he can beat you. Well, I said, I don't think so. But anyhow, we decided, I told him, I said, we'll get in there, we'll fight, and we'll do the best we can. Well, it just happened. The week of the fight, I got dysentery. and I fought my best, but we drew. We got a draw. So then I thought, well, a lot of them said, well, he beat you and this and that and other. And I got to my pride, so I said, we'll fight again, and I'm in good shape. So we fought again, and we still threw a draw. And he was the guy, he was from Rome, Italy. The Germans had captured him and were taking him on a train through down Salerno somewhere. And somehow he got loose. Yeah. And he ended up in Salerno. And he was one of them that was working 6 times a day. And so Penzi is a boxer. I just picked up boxers. Any of them was boxing.
Yeah.
And different nationalities. I had a lot of English. And so I had about 15 fights, and I'd have all these generals. There was no recreation. And those generals would all be sitting there, see. And so I had a good show every Saturday night. And once in a while I would fight in main event. And so I had it made, really. That's the boys say that's how I won the war. This is that Italian boy. And he and I were getting ready to fight. Gino Di Platfield.
Yeah.
And there I was fighting the Texas middleweight champ. I was trying to pick up some bucks. That was after I got out. And that's the Texas middleweight champion. And
so what weight classes did you all fight in?
Middleweight.
Middleweight all the time? You didn't go up or down at all?
No, I was about 160 pounds. And then I was out of a job and down in Phoenix, and I was boxing 6 rounds and making a few bucks. And they said, how about going down to this mining town and fighting this guy was the welterweight champ of Arizona. And so I went down there with him, and he gave me $100. Well, this guy was a guy that he had a cauliflower ear, and they said don't hit him on that ear, one thing or another. And so we got in there, and I didn't knock him out, but I won the fight. And Harold, I defeated him. And so the people there at the mine, they took a liking to me, so they gave me a job at the mine.
How long did you work at the mine for?
A couple of years.
Yeah.
What'd you do there, Dad?
Well, I started in as a miner. You went in there and you drilled your 5,000 feet down, and you rode an elevator down, and at the end of the day, you had drilled some holes and you had to blast them and come on out. Well, the guy that was over the mine took a liking to me. Well, Grady came out and lived with me. My mom had died, my youngest brother. And so he came there and he was living with me. And so he wanted to box. So I got him to box too on the card. And his son and my son were in the same class. So he took a liking to me because of that, and he put me running a hoist outside. I sat in a little place by bells. One was stop, two was do something else, and three was something else. And I was making, making better wages than I was in money. I made $12 a day. And so, and then I'd fight. I'd fight anybody that wanted to fight. In a 10 rounder. And I was getting $100 for that. So that was good. And Randy came, later on Randy wanted to box.
Yeah.
And so he...
Darn paper hyped it up too much. I pulled out.
Yeah. I said, Randy, your mom won't let you do it. And he said, well, I'm going to ask her. And so he begged her to let him box. And she said, okay. I think he said he'd leave home if he didn't. But anyhow, I said, well, Randy, you can box, but you're going to have to go 12 3-minute rounds to fight a 3-minute, a 3 2-minute fight. And so there was a guy, a policeman from
Tom Lay.
Yeah, he was fighting the main event. So Randy wanted to fight, and Randy was about 200 pounds, 6'2". This guy was 5'11", about 180 pounds. And it looked like he couldn't ought to go a main eventer. He was fighting a main event. So I thought, well, if he loses, he might well lose to somebody good. And so I said, well,
So you really feel the pain.
So the guy fought, and we went down and challenged him. And so they had it all lined up that Randy was going to fight him. And all them guys from high school were working out with Randy. And Randy looked good. He was going 12 3-minute rounds, and he was doing a lot of punching the bag and exercise. And he was looking real good. And so they put it in the paper on Sunday, and he's going to fight Monday. And this guy read the paper that I had fought in Marcel Sudan and trained with world champ, and I was his dad, and I trained him. And so this policeman said, no, I ain't going to fight him. So they said, well, John, we'll put him with somebody else. I said, no, I was ready to fight him, but that's it. And so they backed out of it, and they were in school. They had a big write-up, Hurricane Hail, he was fun. And it made him real popular, because he hadn't done any good in football, but all of a sudden he was real popular in school. And so the guy did back out, and I wouldn't let him fight. And I did tell.
Perfect record of Randy.
Perfect record. Yeah.
And I had made my mind up that if he got it, well, my kid brother, who came to Arizona at 19, and he wanted to box, because I'm making this money, in boxing, and so he trained. I said, okay, great, if you want to box, you get in shape. He got in shape, and I thought he's all ready. And so they put him in there with a boy, an old Indian boy. And he didn't look like a boxer at all, but he's just a swinger. And my brother Grady, his girlfriend, who was finally married, was sitting at ringside. Well, Grady got hit behind the ear, and he just fell flat, he just looked like he did. I jumped in the ring and tried to revive him. Well, then he lost the fight. He just got knocked out. Well, then he just won the fight. And there's a girl that liked his girlfriend, and so he wanted to fight that person. And so the person was willing to do it. So put him in there with him, and he did a good job boxing. He was good boxing, and he won the fight. So that's the last time he fought. And so That's a lot of experience. This was over in North Africa.